Good afternoon, everybody. Um, it was kind of a rainy morning this morning, so I spent a little time sharpening up chain on the MS 390, checking the depth gauge to make sure everything's okay there. They weren't too far off. Very little need to be taken off, but just taking advantage of the crappy weather and doing that because got my days off that I do this type of stuff, and got to do what you can with the weather you got. Anyway, the rain has stopped, and heading out to the tree dump here to see if any logs had showed up, because it was pretty decent weather Monday and Tuesday, so tree services might have been out, or homeowners, whatever, hauling some logs out. So we'll check and see if there's anything showed up there, and maybe we'll do some pickup today. So we'll check in with you here in just a little bit. Well, the tree dump was a bust. There was nothing out there, just a few small branches. Somebody had trimmed up a tree or whatever. So I figured I'd take this opportunity and show a few of the different woods that I've milled. You can see some right behind me, and we'll get some better shots. But this is silver maple is behind me, and we'll go over that. So here's a silver maple. This was wood was taken off of the tree right next to my house. The utility company was trimming up trees for the power lines, so I asked them to leave them so I could mill them up. Some of these are 5/4. That I believe is 2.5. Yeah, this is kind of a partial crotch there, and then back behind there I have some full crotch. But yeah, I mean it's beautiful wood. It's been sitting out here on end for a while, and it looks kind of a little bit moldy or whatever. But once it gets put through the kiln and dried, and then I use a router sled to flatten, it cleans up pretty nice. I'll show you some of those that have been through that process here shortly. But yeah, I just put them out here. There's kind of a large overhang at the top of my house, so I'm not saying they don't get rained on, because they certainly do, but they get, and this is on the north side of the house too, so they don't have any direct sunlight. There is still some cracking. These are limbs will crack, I mean. And yeah, I probably should have painted the ends or sealed them up, but I usually just deal with the cracks. I'll split them, break them down into what I need. That anchor seal is some spendy stuff, and I just don't make enough money doing it to justify getting that. So anyway, I'll be showing you some more here shortly. Here's a few pieces of walnut. This is one little walnut log. Yeah, I'm guessing it's maybe 8-10 inches, somewhere around there, wide, and about 3 foot long. When it comes to walnut, I pretty much mill anything I can mill, because with the laser engraving I can use these small pieces for signs or whatever, and it's really good wood. So beautiful stuff. Once again, a little cracking on the end. This has not been through the kiln either. Still has a bark on a few of these pieces. I'll show you a piece that's been through the kiln and I've flattened and everything. But another nice thing about this size, this width, is I can run through a thickness planer. Just put it on the sled and shim it up and run it through. Then I have one flat side and I can just put that side down and run it through again. It'll fit through there because it's 12.5-inch thickness planer. And yeah, it's a nice tool to have. And here's a couple more pieces of ash. This is from the main trunk, and this has been through the kiln, but it has not been flattened yet. Yeah, it's got beautiful grain in it. And yeah, I mean, you can see the saw marks that comes off. That's why I mill a little thicker, because you're gonna have to deal with warping and twisting and all that when you flatten it. So I cut this 5/4, figuring it's going to be like a 3/4 board when I'm done. This one was cut considerably thicker. This is a piece of limb wood, and I mean, it's beautiful. Ash is so underappreciated, in my opinion. But I mean, look at all of that grain. It's beautiful. Got a like compression figure right here, and this has been kiln dried and flattened on the router sled. And it still has a bark on it, which I generally don't do, but you can see it's a thick one. Very thick. I think I cut it at 3.5, 3 or 3.5 when I did it. But yeah, that's what ash can be. It's beautiful stuff. Here's a piece of walnuts. It's only like 24 inches long or somewhere around there. But it's been kiln dried and then flattened and sanded a little bit. Yeah, it's beautiful wood. And it's perfect for little projects that I do. I'm not going to make a table or anything like that with it, obviously. Make a small little end table or something at the top. But yeah, you know, of course, where the knot is, you have to stabilize that with epoxy or something. But yeah, it's pretty wood, and one of my preferred. I mean, I love ash too. Maple's nice too. I'll show you a couple pieces of that, but that's a walnut. Pretty much ready for a project. Alright, this is a piece of silver maple that I've dried in the kiln, then flattened. What I ended up, this log was rotten in the middle, so I just milled off the sapwood, which with maple, the sapwood is the desirable part anyway. But yeah, pretty stuff, really smooth, and I haven't sanded it all either. It's really nice stuff. This side, there's a little bit of bark inclusion or something there. Yeah, I want to say this is like 10-12 inches wide, about 4 foot long. But yeah, it's pretty wood, pretty in a different way than like ash or walnut. But there you go. That's some of the woods that I've done.